The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt that Breasia was shot by the defendant and that she died as a result of being shot. And the defendant did this act with malice aforethought, and the defendant acted willfully, deliberately, and premeditatedly with all the specific intent to kill Breasia. All this occurred on or about the 10th day of July, 2020, and the criminal activity began in Scott County, Iowa, and the defendant's criminal activity continued as he traveled into Clinton County, Iowa. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the remains located at the pond at the intersection of 2018 18th Street and 270th Avenue are those of Breasia as a result of the testimony of the forensic anthropologist, Dr. Heather Garvin, and the medical examiner, Dr. Kelly Cruz. Matthew Dean and David Baker were both inmates at the Clinton County Jail while the defendant was being held pending trial in this matter. Both of them credibly testified during the airing of a news story concerning the disappearance of Breasia. The defendant made the statement, "They are never going to find her." Both of these witnesses are credible, specifically Matthew Dean, who was no longer being held on any criminal charges, and David Baker testified he was not receiving special treatment in regards to any pending criminal charges in exchange for his testimony. Therefore, neither of these individuals had anything to gain from their testimony. Specifically, David Baker testified when he heard the defendant make the statement, he took the statement to mean the defendant knew where Breasia was located. The court found every witness who testified on behalf of the state to be credible in their testimony. As noted, the only testimony the court did not find credible was that of DL, as to him being present and seeing the defendant shoot Breasia. The court's credibility findings are appropriate as statements were consistent between all the witnesses and were corroborated by the investigative efforts of the Davenport Police Department and the FBI and all other agencies. Again, it should be noted all of these investigative efforts would not have been fruitful had it not been for the information provided by DL. DL was instrumental in solving the murder and kidnapping of his sister Breasia. The court specifically finds the defendant was not savvy in any manner. The defendant did not account for the statements and testimony of DL and that of Jared Brink. The evidence provided by these two witnesses clearly, and all the other witnesses, undermined every effort which the defendant may have taken to be savvy or calculated in his actions to avoid being charged and prosecuted for the kidnapping and murder of Breasia. Ruling and verdict. Count 1, murder in the first degree. The court finds the state has met its burden of proof in this case. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant committed murder in the first degree. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant acted with malice aforethought and willfully and premeditatedly and with the specific intent to kill Breasia Terrell, shot her on July 10th of 2020. And as a result of being shot, Breasia Terrell died. Thus, the defendant is guilty of the crimes of murder in the first degree. Accordingly, the court, based on the testimony of the witnesses and review of the exhibits offered in this case, finds the defendant, Henry Earl Dinkins, guilty of the offense of murder in the first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.2, paren 1, paren B. Count 2, kidnapping first degree. The court finds the state has met its burden of proof in this case. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant committed kidnapping first degree. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant removed Breasia Terrell on July 10th, 2020 from the apartment in which he was caring for her with the specific purpose of inflicting serious injury upon Breasia Terrell. The defendant knew he did not have the consent or authority of Breasia Terrell to do so, and as a result of that removal intentionally subjected Breasia Terrell to serious injury, that being death. Accordingly, the court, based on the testimony of the witnesses and a review of the exhibits offered in this case, finds the defendant, Henry Earl Dinkins, guilty of the offense of kidnapping first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 710.2. It is therefore ordered and adjudged and decreed that the defendant, Henry Earl Dinkins, is guilty of the offense of, under count 1, murder in the first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.2(1)(b), and guilty under count 2, kidnapping first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 710.2, as contained in the trial information filed by the state of Iowa. It is further ordered an informal pre-sentence investigation report shall be prepared by the 7th Judicial District Department of Correctional Services. The PSI shall be electronically filed by noon 3 days prior to the date of sentencing. It is further ordered sentencing in this matter is scheduled for October 11th at 1:30 in the afternoon. It is further ordered the defendant is being found guilty of forcible felony shall remain in the Scott County Jail pending sentencing without bond. Thank you.